sacrifice. Okay, and that pushes me to a very important trick. I think that also maybe other people can also adopt. The building or establishing a think tank. Like your life is a very big thing.
Yeah,
You can't afford to run it alone.
Because I was here thinking to myself, you guys, aren't you burdening life? You're making living so serious.
No, life is a burden enough. Life is a burden enough, you like it or not. Actually, there's a post I made last year that regardless of whether we're responsible or not, the fact that there's tomorrow is already an obligation for us to think about it, especially when we intend to be there tomorrow. Yeah? And whether you like it or not, there's a tomorrow. And by that, you're under obligation to think about it.
Actually, people are saying that I should burdening people. But if like that song which says my tomorrow must be greater than today, if you want to have an easy tomorrow, you must burden today.
Yeah.
By planning. If you want to have a good 20 years ahead or 30 years ahead, you must plan a lot in 2022. Otherwise, if you don't plan and you let it pass, you live one day at a time. My friend.
There's not an easy way of going around the hard things of life. And I want to emphasize the other point that I hinted on, Francis and Peter, about having a think tank or establishing a think tank. You guys, life is too busy. Your own personal life is too busy. I look at the number of calls I receive a day. These days, most of the time, I just push them to call later. Because I'm busy with this, with someone's calling about this, someone's calling about the other, someone's calling about this. And I imagine if I didn't have a think tank, one of the biggest think tanks being my wife, and then of course Francis. I don't know if it's because he's paid but he's one guy who never gets tired of listening to my BS. Yeah? Like, I make sure I have a think tank. Yeah? I have so many other people that I engage with, friends that I trust, and we have these long calls talking about me. It's one thing that I've done over time, and someone might say I'm being weak and timid about life, and I think some of the things that I rejoice in, and I'm happy about myself that I've been able to do.
You have to second guess yourself.
Second guess myself, establish a think tank, seek that second check all the time. Because man, life is too busy and life is too serious. You know, never gives us time for rehearsals. We don't have time for second chances. It's hit it today right or never. Hit it today right or never. That's what life is.
Now, Eli, you talked about think tanks, and this is some advice I'll give to people. Even there are people who feel they are specialists in particular fields, and you don't have to second guess yourself or recheck something with someone else. Personally, I have people who may be at the same level, or even they are at higher level than me. I give a call when I have a financial decision I'm making, or a financial projection I'm making. I may feel I know it 110%, but even then I call them. There's a gentleman called Josephat, and his wife. We started SCCA together, and every time I have an issue which I feel I need to second guess, I call them. I WhatsApp them. They're in Canada. I WhatsApp them, and I call them. I give them WhatsApp call, and I check again. It's something happened in 2018. There was this, but even the to-do list and the planning, they don't stop at the individuals. We are mainly talking about individuals here, but even it goes to business. And there's a company which gave me a 6-year contract to help them in setting up their financial systems as it was starting. But this company had been in place for 3 years in its startup stage before I came in. And for 3 years they had been drafting a business plan. And the person who was leading in the drafting of the business plan had a master's in business administration from the United Kingdom. And this gentleman, when they gave me their business plan, this business plan was going to the European Union to get financing. And it had already gone to the European Union by now. by the time I came in.
Mm-hmm.
So this plan was with the European Union, and they're looking at it, and they're considering actually in the process of releasing the funds, the equity and the debt to this company. So this gentleman gave me the business plan, and I looked through the theoretical write-ups, the assumptions and all that. Then I went into my bits, the financials. Looking at financials, in one day, after this guy is spending 3 years with an MBA in business administration, I discovered in one day that these guys had left out a very important part of a plan which would foil the whole business. They had not included taxes, particular taxes which are very important in their business plan. They included income tax, but they don't included excise duty, nor have they included value-added tax. And these were all their inputs, all their inventory, all their stock, the raw materials, the raw materials were bought without. You won't buy them without VAT because when they're gonna market, they don't have VAT. When you're buying them, but the end products they were selling had VAT. That means that they had a cost of 18% on everything they are selling.
Silent cost.
Because their margin, their sales margin was 15%. That means that the VAT was more than
the profit margin.
the profit margin. That means they're going to sell at a loss of 3%. Whatever they're selling. So we took another month to try to figure out how we are going to
Mitigate
that. We took a month. And we didn't want also to foil the funding by the European Union. And we are lucky that even the financial specialists of the European Union did not see that loophole. Imagine, the financial experts of the European Union didn't see that loophole and they released the funds. But internally, we worked backwards and changed
and resolved it.
And resolved it. So, even if you have an MBA in finance, cross-check with...
No man is the master of anything. Not even your own self.
So even as CEOs and other small business managers, if you have your small business and your business manager, CFOs and all that, if you have a small or even a micro business and you're planning for it, you
seek a second opinion.
You have a to-do list for this year. Please seek a second opinion.
In fact, if possible, even a third.
Even a third, yeah.
The more opinions, the better.
It doesn't hurt. You are not weak. Like you said that you feel like you're weak to seek for a second opinion. No, that's the strength actually. Don't rely on yourself alone. There are many resources in human beings who are around you. Who are going to actually sometimes these people are not even qualified in your field or in that particular field. But they may see something.
There's one thing I've realized about life, and I'm yet to conclude on it, if I ever will, that every human being is not unique by mistake. I actually think every human being, we're about 8 billion people, every human being has a potential market for themselves of 7.9999999 billion people. Because there's that one unique thing you do in a very unique way that other people cannot. In other words, for every encounter, there's that single perspective that only you will have. And I think that's important about drawing our own personal resolutions and trying to drawing a strategy for implementing them. Every other person you consult with comes in with a very unique perspective of the same situation that you'll never get elsewhere.